Hi everyone, my name is Leanne and today I'm going to be doing a romance book haul. Over the past couple years, I have really embraced how much I love romance fiction, from the kind of funny rom-coms to the things that are like full-on spicy. I love a romance book. I think I had like a lot of internalized misogyny that I had for quite a few years, and I also think coming out of an English lit degree, I kind of thought I was like super into really literary fiction. And in fact, what I realized now over the years of getting to know my reading tastes better is I'm mostly in this for entertainment. Like, don't get me wrong, I do love a book that can be informative, that can be really thought-provoking, but like how I sometimes want to watch a documentary on Netflix, I sometimes just want to watch something that is pure entertainment, and I want to read some books that are just pure entertainment. So I have 12 romance books to talk to you about today. I'm sure quite a few of these will be books that you've heard of before, or there will be some that will be new on your radar as well. So let's get into the books. So I have all 3 books in the Hot and Harrowed series, which is just a great name of a series, all by Tessa Bailey. So we have Fix Her Up, Love Her or Lose Her, and my favourite titled one, Tools of Engagement. So this first book is about Georgette, and her family run this like home renovation business, but she has definitely not followed in that blueprint. She has not followed in her family's footsteps. She has decided to become a clown. Now, I'm a bit freaked out by clowns, so I don't know how I'm gonna get on with that element of the story. Georgette has never really dated. I mean, people aren't queuing up to hook up with the town's clown. Then she is reintroduced to Travis Ford, who is a friend of her brother's, who was the like hotshot rookie in the baseball leagues, but his career has ended because of an injury. Travis is trying to move on from his baseball career. He doesn't really want to talk about it anymore, but all over the town people just keep bringing it up, and he's really sick of that. This pair decide to start fake dating, which is one of my favorite romance tropes. Obviously, throughout the book they're going to realize that they don't actually want to be fake dating, they want to actually be taking each other's clothes off. Tools for Engagement is about, I think, Georgette's sister Bethany. So these books are kind of like all linked, but you don't need to have read one before reading the other. It's just like that similar characters crop up across the books. Bethany is also part of the family business, but she's never been taken seriously by her older brother. When a TV producer gets wind of this sibling rivalry, they decide to turn it into a TV show where the pair of siblings are going to compete for who can do up the best house. But in order to compete, Bethany needs a crew. She needs a workforce, and the only person who is willing to jump ship from her brother's team onto her team is Wes. And I believe the vibe between these two is like enemies to lovers. Like, she obviously needs him to complete all of this building work, but they do not get on. But of course there's like some sizzling tension underneath that. I don't enjoy enemies to lovers as much as I enjoy fake dating, so I have slightly higher expectations for Fix Her Up, even though it's got a clown in it. And finally, from Tessa Bailey, Love Her or Lose Her. Now this one is about a couple that are already married. They've been married for quite a long time, but the kind of excitement and romance has fizzled out of their relationship. Originally they were like high school sweethearts, madly in love, but that kind of spark, that sizzle is just not there anymore. So they decide to go on a marriage boot camp, and it leads both of them to confront the roles that they've played in the fading spark in their relationship. When it finally seems like the relationship is getting back on track, Rosie discovers that Dom has a secret that he has been keeping from her, and it is one that could demolish everything that they've built. I think I would like more romances in my life when we are not at the start of a relationship. I would love to read more like this one, where you are in the midst of the relationship and how that is different from other romance dynamics. Next, I have The Visa by Lizzie O'Hagan. This one sounds like so much fun. I love a bit of a gimmick in my romance books, and I think the gimmick in this is so fantastic. So this is about Jack and Maya, who have been friends for a really long time, and that's all they've ever been. They've been friends. Jack is a bit of a commitment phobe. He's never managed to get past a third date with someone. He is from New Zealand and he needs a visa in order to stay in the country, so he and Maya decide to get married. Maya doesn't even believe in marriage, so they're just doing it for convenience. They don't think there's anything to it. They are living in a married, sexless bliss until Jack decides to get serious with someone else he is dating. And of course, that is the thing that prompts Maya to realize that she is in love with Jack. I'm expecting this one to be really cheesy, but I am here for that. Next, I have Booked on a Feeling by J.C. Lee. Now, I have mixed experiences with like bookshop or bookish romances. I love books about books in like a non-fiction sense, but books about books in fiction I think can sometimes be a little bit twee, and combining that with the romance genre, it can just make me feel a little bit icky. So this is a book about Lizzie, who has had her whole life sort of mapped out for her. She's going to become a really successful lawyer, join this amazing law firm. She's living out in LA, her parents are super proud, and she is about to make a partner at this really prestigious law firm that she's been working at. But she ends up having a panic attack in one of the most pivotal moments of her career, and it prompts her to kind of take a step back and reevaluate. She's going back to the small Californian town where she spent her summers with her best friend, Jack. Why are they all called Jack? We really need to stop giving the male leads in these books J names. Of course, Jack has been harboring this really long-standing crush for Lizzie. He has 3 weeks to spend with her, trying to conceal this crush that he has for her. And this becomes increasingly difficult when he agrees to help Lizzie revamp the local bookstore. So they are spending a lot of time together. I'm hoping this one will be a lot of fun. But as I said, I have just found like bookshop romances a little bit too like cutesy and twee sometimes. In fact, the only kind of bookshop romance that I've really enjoyed that I've read recently has been Book Lovers by Emily Henry, and I have her latest paperback release here, You and Me on Vacation. So this is about Poppy and Alex, who met 12 years ago and thought that they would never end up hanging out again. 11 years ago, they are forced to share a ride back from college together, and as a result of that, they end up making a pact that every year they will go on one holiday together. And they have carried on this tradition every single year until 2 years ago when it all went wrong. This summer, Poppy asks Alex to join her on one final trip, and this may be the holiday where they end up realizing that they're not just friends after all. There are a lot of like people hiding feelings that they've had for years books here. I'm hoping that's not the case for the rest of the books that I'm going to pick up, because I don't think that's a trope that I really like. It's just not something that I can really relate to. Like, if I fancy you, you're going to know about it. Next, I have Asking for a Friend by Andy Osho, and I actually think this is like more of a book that is about female friendship than the actual romances. This is about 3 best friends who are at different stages of their lives, but they all have these kind of like relationship woes. Things aren't really working out for them. And they make the decision that they are going to ask people out on dates in person. Can you imagine? But the twist here is that they can only ask people out for each other, which sounds a little bit complicated. What could possibly go wrong there? I'm sure there are plenty of things that could go wrong. Auntie Osho is a comedian, and I've seen a little bit of like her TV work and stuff, and I found her really funny. So hopefully there will be that same sense of humor in this book as well. Next, I have 2 books from Amy Lee. So I have Set on You and X's and O's. So I think the main characters in these books are sisters. So in the same way that there is in the Hot and Harrowed series or the Brown Sisters series, they are linked in the sense that the characters' lives are interconnected, but you can read them as standalones. So Set on You is a romance that is set in a gym. Our female lead, Crystal, is a curvy fitness influencer. She has spent a lot of her career trying to break stereotypes in the gym, and after a recent breakup, she has absolutely no time for men. She has been putting all of her efforts into the gym and training and finding positivity there. Our male lead is Scott, who is a firefighter who has been regularly stealing the squat rack that Crystal likes to use, and they start up this kind of gym competitiveness rivalry. Then they end up bumping into each other at their grandparents' engagement party. So in the lead up to the wedding, they are spending a lot more personal time together and are beginning to realize that they might just be perfect for each other. As a gym girly, I think I might enjoy this one. Then we have X's and O's. So our female lead in this one is Tara, and she has had her heart broken 10 different times by 10 different men. But she is determined to find her perfect match. She also is like really into the romance genre, and that has set her standards super high. She's decided that dating apps have killed the meet cute. That is not what she wants. So she wants to revisit her previous relationships, give them a second chance, and see if she can get that second chance romance. And she enlists her new flatmate, Trevor, to be her sidekick in this mission. I'm not sure if I can get on board with a male lead called Trevor. I don't know if I can do that. Trevor is also a firefighter, and both of these books having firefighters, okay, I get it. That might be the link, that might be the theme, but I've never really got the appeal of firefighters, but we'll see. I might be pleasantly surprised. Next, I have Delilah Green Doesn't Care by Ashley Herring Blake, and as a bisexual woman, I can only apologise that this is the only queer romance on this list. And I have the beautiful Karis to thank for that, who very kindly gifted this one to me. So Delilah Green is living this amazing life as a photographer in New York, and she has decided she's never going to go back to her hometown of Bright Falls. There's just too many bad memories there. It's not the kind of lifestyle she wants. She just isn't interested in going back. In terms of her love life, she has someone in her bed every night. Admittedly, every night it's sort of a different woman, but she's quite happy with that lifestyle. However, Delilah does end up going back to Bright Falls when her stepsister ends up peer pressuring her into returning back to their hometown to do the photography for her wedding. Now, Delilah is planning on breezing in and out. She's not planning on sticking around until she sees her stepsister's best friend, Claire. And she decides that Claire is worth doing a bit of sticking around for. As I said, very pleased to have a queer romance added to my romance pile. Next, I have Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. You've definitely already heard of this one. It has been all over TikTok. If you are into romance fiction at all, you have been seeing this one around everywhere. Do I really need to explain this in much detail? There's an ice skater and an ice hockey player who are forced to share a ring. That's it. That's the explanation. And finally, I have By the Book by Jasmine Guillory, another bookish themed romance. So I have the same kind of reluctance. However, I have already read a couple of books by Jasmine Guillory, so I really enjoyed those, and hopefully will really enjoy this one as well. So this one is about Isabel, who's feeling quite lost in her life. She's 25 years old, working in publishing. She's one of the few Black employees at her publishing house, and she is living at home with her parents. She's overworked, she's underpaid, she's constantly torn between wanting to speak up for herself but then also stifling her opinions. She then overhears her boss talking about a really high profile author that has a terrible reputation who hasn't delivered his manuscript on time. And it is here that Isabel sees an opportunity to get the promotion that she finally deserves. She is going to the author's Santa Barbara mansion in order to give him quite the pep talk, and then he will hopefully deliver his manuscript. And things carry on from there. I know there are a few publishing hopefuls that watch this channel because of me working in the publishing industry and doing videos about publishing and stuff. Don't do this. Don't go to the author's house and then start a love affair with them. Don't do that. That's bad. Don't do that. So that is it. They are all of the romance books I'm going to talk to you about today. If you've read any of these, do leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought of them. Or let me know what your favourite romance book that you've read so far this year is. If you want to let me know you're here but you don't have anything in particular to say, leave me the sparkly heart emoji. That is it for me today. I hope you guys are doing well, and I will speak to you in my next video.